We're live. We're live. I think. I don't know if there's anybody here. I'm here. Let me give it a couple minutes. Let people show up. I know when I go back and I watch these things the next day, it's awkward because I'm always like fumbling at the very beginning. But I do believe that I'm live right now, unless something has gone horribly wrong. So anyways, that face is a little close. He's looking a little melancholy, I'd say. Yeah, I mean, I hope I'm live. I don't have Maggie to confirm whether or not I actually am live right now. Maybe I have to check. I'm checking. Give me a second. Top-notch content right here. Top-notch content. View channel. I really don't know. Maybe I'm live, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm live, maybe I'm not. Oh, I think I'm live. All right. So I just this is the final live stream for 6 weeks out west. And because I just wrapped up my final video. I'm kind of sad to be in this spot. Like I've just it was occupying such a large part of my mind, going into it, planning for it, training for it, doing it, living it. Like it was such an emotional, grueling experience, and then just spending every single minute of all my free time for the next 7 months editing. So I've been so living it for such a long time. So I'm kind of sad that it's over. This was the final episode that I did. I actually didn't do like an episode at the end of everything, which I kind of feel like I should have, but I am working on a final film that's going to put everything together. And I don't know how soon I'm going to get that out. I hope I get that. I hope I get it out pretty soon. By the way, if anyone's here, let me know if I'm actually live right now, because I don't know if this is actually working. So give me a second. Maybe I'm just talking to myself, and that's nothing new. I'm always talking to myself. I'm always alone talking to myself. So it's right up my alley. Make sure it's public. It might not be public. Hold on, let me make sure. Uh-oh. That might have made a big difference. That might have made a very big difference. I might have been private. Like I can see myself here. Look, there I am. But it's my channel, so if it's private, it makes sense that I can see it. Anyways, this is nothing new. Me stumbling, trying to figure out if my live stream is working. Should I repeat everything that I just said? All right, I am now realizing, because of the numbers, that yes, I was private. I was definitely private. Happy Father's Day to you, bad crowd cryptids. I don't know if you guys saw any of this, but I've been talking, and I think I just realized that I was on private. So yeah, there's the numbers. I was like, okay, nobody's here, so what? People are busy today. Now everybody's here. I was totally on a private live stream. Oh man. All right, so here's everybody. What's up, guys? What's up? Northern Michigan. How's it going? See, that's what happens when I want to have Maggie to confirm whether or not I'm actually live. Unbelievable, Mags. Unbelievable. I was private for like the first 20 minutes. I'm good now, I think. Yeah. People are here. Yeah, nobody was here. And I was just like, oh, that's kind of insulting. Hi from Australia. What's up? Australia, Cork, Ireland. Hey, what up, Boston? Right in Boston? Hollywood heel Joe Mack. Are you right in Boston? You're on the outskirts of Boston. I always tell people Boston, but I'm actually in I actually grew up in the suburbs, but I just always say Boston. Southern California here, Southwest Louisiana, North Carolina. Wow, we got a lot of got some Colorado folk in here. Birmingham, Alabama, Sacramento. I love how everybody lets me know where they're from. That's cool. All right, so I'm gonna start over since turns out I was talking to myself, which is nothing new. Um, this is my final Ontario. What's up? This is my final live stream for 6 weeks out west, which is kind of sad. It's kind of sad. It's been occupying so much of my life. Just the planning process for months going into the trip, training physically, and all the logistics and planning all that stuff out, and the emotional toll. And I was nervous about being away from everybody, being away from Maggie, being on my own, so many sketchy trips, one thing after another, and then actually doing it, which was obviously intense. Like I remember coming back from that thing just worked mentally and physically. And now I hope you guys all know why. Now you all know why. It was just one thing after another, after another, after another. And then I ended up spending like the next every minute of every free moment I had for the next 7 months, I spent editing 6 weeks out west. So it's just been totally occupying my mind. So I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of sad. But we got a lot to talk about. The last 3 videos we have here, including this one, even this one is semi Bigfoot related. And then I closed with 2 Bigfoot videos. But yeah, so I guess right before this, I was, or I just finished a Yellowstone backpacking video. And on this episode, I drive through Yellowstone and I go out to Vancouver Island. And I got to be honest, when I made this video, I was like, 12 people are going to watch this video. Like, who the hell wants to watch me get on a ferry and do literally nothing? And it ended up like people actually like these videos. So thank you so much to everybody who's supporting the channel, everybody who's watching, episodes like this, where it kind of just shows you the in-between stuff. That's really cool to me. And I think people sort of liked being a part of the journey. My shoes are fantastic. They are. What's the end goal? A real sighting, and then you'll hang it up. No, my end goal is to spread the beauty of the natural world to as many people as I possibly can. That's the end game. Bigfoot fits into that much bigger picture. I am so obsessed with the natural world. Everyone is, but I'm so obsessed with nature. I'm so obsessed with wildlife, and obviously mysteries and Bigfoot and everything that goes along with that. It's all just like, even if it somehow was like, they could never do this, they could never prove it, and I don't agree with it. But if they were like, oh, Bigfoot doesn't exist, I wouldn't spend one less day out in the woods, because there's infinite reasons to get out and camp and be in nature and be amongst wildlife. Our planet is the most beautiful thing possible. But Bigfoot's a part of that, and it's real. Turns out. Glad you're back home with Maggie, but what's the future hold now? All right, so I think in my title, I'm happy I'm back home with Maggie too. I've actually been home with Maggie for a while, because I wrapped up this trip mid-October. I do say in the title, I don't know if you guys can see it, Bigfoot recap, and this is going to be big on Bigfoot, but also a major announcement, and there is a major announcement coming up at some point. I have my Bigfoot shirt on. My daughter's got me it for Father's Day. That's as good as it gets. That's some good daughters you have. Amazing Bigfoot videos. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for like these last couple of videos have been insane. Like, they just blew up. Like I said, like this one did way better than I thought, and this is just like a little episode, but like still, I was like 12 people are gonna watch it, and it gets like, I don't know, however many views. But then Alone on Ape Island was like my biggest video. Alone on Ape Island 2 was my biggest video ever when it came out, and then right after that, Vancouver Island Sasquatch was bigger than that. But I don't like, I like that it's in some way a reflection that like people like the videos I'm creating. I'm not doing it thinking like, oh, I want this to be my biggest video ever. I just like, my mindset is do something that you absolutely love and that you're passionate about, and make the best damn video that you possibly can with the time that you have, and then whatever success may come with that. But I'm not like I'm not obsessing over how each video does. Hello from Oregon. How's it going? Dialing in from Vermont. What's up? My favorite sub right there. Just kidding. I have a bunch of favorite subs, but you're up there. You're up there. I'm from Scotland, Northern California, East Coast USA, East Coast. Heading to the White Mountains in 2 weeks for 3 weeks. Where are you going to the White Mountains? All right. Let's stay focused. So this episode, yeah, I go out to Vancouver Island, get on the ferry, and at this point of the whole trip, it's like week 5, or I guess it's the start of week 6. I think it's 6 weeks out west was more like 6.5 weeks out west, by the way. Just doesn't roll off the tongue. But so I'm at the end. I'm worked at this point, just from the long backpacking videos and backpacking trips, and the physical toll that takes, some of the mental toll that takes when you're in sketchy grizzly habitat, the mental toll that doing the Bigfoot stuff can take. That like, yeah, I was exhausted. I was exhausted by this point, but I was also like, man, we're finishing this strong. And we did. Vancouver Island knocked it out of the park again. So I'm just going to go off this video because nobody wants to talk about this video. And this is the thing I do where I just change the thumbnails. You might see my sofa. I hope not, but you might see my sofa if this doesn't go right. Oh, it worked. You said before your main job also requires travel. What is it? Just curious. I can't say. I'm sorry. I wish I could. Hey, Mike, I loved your Bigfoot videos. I loved your comments, Tori in Oregon. There's another top subscriber right there. I enjoy the editing and adventure. Thank you so much. Thank you. I put a lot of time into the editing. And I go over things so many times. And this one was important. Alone on Ape Island 2. I knew this one was important. I didn't have the name for this video until a few days before I posted it, and I was like, screw it, let's call it Alone on Ape Island 2. Vancouver Island is one of my favorite places in the world. It's one of Maggie's favorite places in the world, but for all different reasons. Like for me, it's as squatchy as it possibly gets. Look at this photo. Look at that photo in the background. Squatchy. I know some of you hate that word, but I don't care. Yeah, to go back to Vancouver Island, like I was nervous. Not to go to the island, but to go do the stuff that I was going to do on Vancouver Island. I was pretty nervous because the last time I'd gone out there for Alone on Ape Island 1, I guess, that second night, that was like the most unsettling night I've ever experienced. And I remember telling people that, I got back from that first experience last year, whenever that was, maybe that was 2 years ago, from Clayoquot Sound when I was left off on that island with that sketchy cabin and all that stuff, and something flew over the top of the trees. I remember like telling people like I wouldn't go back to that spot for $10,000. I really wouldn't. I feel like I was tempting fate. A few months later, a few months go by, and I'm like, all right, like I would go back to Clayoquot Sound for sure alone and do some Bigfoot stuff. I just won't go back to that specific spot because I feel like, and I almost feel like I would just be tempting fate to go back to that spot. But I also like think that I could go there with a boat drop me off. Not this recent one where I flew in, but I'm talking about Alone on Ape Island, the first one. I feel like I could go there and it could be totally normal. It could be just a totally cool, normal experience. Alone in the woods, and that's what it usually is. But that night was different. There was a energy in the air. People sent in questions. That's like one of the questions that I'm gonna address. Everybody asked me about that night. Hey Mike, BC in the house. A collab with Les Stroud would be nice. I'm in. I love Les Stroud. Ape Island, love it. Maybe a rock star in an awesome band. Who? Me? People, I can't keep reading all the comments because then there's all those dead air. So yeah, Alone on Ape Island 2 is awesome. I connected with Cam again, the same First Nations hunter who I met up with on the first one. And I think last time I just spent a night out in the Namint Valley, where he took me to basically the exact spot where he had one staring into his window while he was sleeping. Or yeah, I think he was sleeping and just about to wake up. He said he randomly opened his eyes and it was still dark out, and boom, there was something right there looking in at him. And man, Cam is the most legit dude there is. He's the most legit dude there is. I actually just connected him with Small Town Monsters with Alex Petikoff and the crew, and so I think they're doing. I don't know if I was supposed to say that actually, but he's just such a cool dude. And I remember Alex being like, yeah, man, you were right. He's a badass guy that wants no attention. He doesn't care about the camera. He doesn't care about any of that. He's just into Bigfoot ever since he had that experience. And yeah, he had one staring into his window. So he took me back to a similar location for Ape Island 2. Followed him up, and I wish I could show him on camera because it's just like, it's kind of a big part of it. Like we go there, we hang out, we have a beer, we talk about Bigfoot. It was fun. I remember this time it was just raining, and it was cool. Just standing out there, drinking a beer, talking about Bigfoot. And Cam had crazy experiences right after I left. And he's so chill, he's so cool. He didn't even tell me. Like, you think like the guy who's traveling to the other side of the continent, taking the ferry, going out there in the dark, risking his life for like some cool Bigfoot stuff, that maybe you would share that, hey, a couple days after you left, I saw a Bigfoot. Like, he saw one. And it only came up because we were talking on the phone like a month ago, for the first time since I saw him in person in October. And I was like, hey, how's everything going? And he was like, oh, I don't think I told you. I saw another one. And I was like, what? He was so casual about it. When you go into the Brown family Sailor Sasquatch, I have gone 6 weeks out west, episode 3 or 4, I forget. It's one of the episodes. I did go there. Thank you everybody for these like supportive comments. It really means a lot. So yeah, it was really cool connecting with Cam again, and he took me to a really beautiful spot. Like, this area, it just like sits in, I can't figure out, it sits in this bowl where you're totally exposed to the high ground all around you, and there's just some awesome old growth out there. And it was just the moodiest atmosphere possible. Like, if you've seen the video, you know it was moody. And I really wanted to, I wanted to capture that in the editing. I really wanted to capture, like, I think sometimes my videos, like, I'm looking for more like action. This one, I kind of just wanted it to be like a smooth, moody experience, because that's what it was to be there. And to just let moments breathe. And that's something I've been like kind of figuring out with editing as I go, that, you know, you learn on the fly, to, like, you know, sometimes you want to like move things, and then other times just let a scene breathe, a single shot breathe for like 20 seconds. So you guys can feel like you're there with me. So yeah. Oh, and then so Cam dropped me off, or he led the way in his truck, and then he left. And then, like, as soon as he left, I was excited to be there, had full ADD. So I, you know, just took off. Like, as soon as I got there, I went on a hike, and Cam turned around again. He didn't tell me this. He just told me this on the phone like a month ago. And he was like, oh yeah, you know, after I left you, I drove, you know, a couple kilometers away, and there were 4 mountain lions right in the middle of the road. And so I turned. So he said he turned around. He came back to warn me, but I wasn't there anymore because I was up hiking around already. So I just never found out that there were 4 mountain lions like right near where I was camped. And, you know, that's going to happen a lot. It makes me wonder, like, how many times stuff like that happens. I mean, I obviously know that mountain lions are often around and you just never see them. But it's a good example of like how animals, like a mountain lion isn't like, they're good at what they do, but do they have a human-like intelligence, or the intelligence that you would expect a Sasquatch to have? yet we almost never see them. I have a friend who is the most legit backpacker out there, infinitely more experienced than I am. I think he spends like a minimum of 200 nights a year, and so often it's off trail, creating his new routes in places where people don't even know about. So he's not even like just camping; like he is in some of the craziest places possible. 200 nights a year for the last 10 years in a row, and he's never seen a mountain lion. He's never seen one mountain lion. How many mountain lions are there in North America? A gazillion. There are a gazillion mountain lions in North America, and they're just elusive. They're not like, oh my God, it's a human, hide. So now picture if there was a human-like species out there where like its main agenda was to stay hidden from us in terms of its own survival for its species. Yeah, I think they could do it. Could the Navy SEALs hide from you out there? Yeah. Yeah, they absolutely could. I could hide from myself. Maggie could hide from me. A child could hide from me. Duck below things, you know, like in the dark. If you're only out there in the middle of the night and you're actively hiding, like it's so easy for me to just walk on by. It is so easy for me to walk by something. That's why we walk by mountain lions and all kinds of wild animals that you don't even know are there. If you make something incredibly intelligent, elusive, nocturnal, they can remain undetected. Hello from Houston. He saw four on the road, but almost never seen. It's exactly right. But I will say, Vancouver Island has the highest density of mountain lions of anywhere in the world. So there are a ton of mountain lions on Vancouver Island. I've never seen one on Vancouver Island. I've seen one in my life, but I mean, how many times am I in perfect mountain lion habitat? You don't see them. What do the Navy SEALs have to do with Bigfoot? Because I'm telling you, picture something that the most highly trained form of a human being in a military fashion is likely a Navy SEAL, right? And if they're like sneaking around in the bush, trying to remain hidden from me, I'm never going to see them. So it's an example of something that's incredibly intelligent and elusive. They can't like, if a human being can remain hidden from me, obviously a species that is like one with the forest for the last 100,000 years would be even better than a Navy SEAL. So that's what I'm talking about. Our families of Bigfoot called Big Feet. Yes, they are. What do you want your slogan to be, Mr. President? I don't know. Bigfoot's real. Get out into nature. The spider crawl is a creepy concept. Yeah, that's, and you're referring to like people have seen them actually like crawling, which is super creepy. I think the problem is a lot of like commoners who aren't like big on Bigfoot, just like they expect them to be some upright, dumb ape. They're not. They are not a dumb ape. They certainly are not. I think they might be just about as much primate as we are, but I think they're incredibly intelligent, like as intelligent as us, except just have evolved in a totally different direction for tens of thousands of years. Hi from Washington. What's up? All right, so let me get some questions here. I have some long questions, by the way, but thank you everybody for sending them in. Hi, Mike. Thanks for your amazing videos and being willing to share your experiences with the rest of us. We absolutely love your work. So one, I'm really curious about those very loud, freaky, snapping, smashing sounds you guys heard in the middle of the night on Vancouver Island. Would definitely have given me a heart attack. All right, so he's referring to the Vancouver Island Sasquatch, the video that was posted after this. Did the sound recorders your friend had placed revealed any clues as to what they could have been or the source? Also, when these sounds break the silence of the night and you're discussing it, a mysterious light source clearly appears in the background of the video while you're recording. Did you notice it while editing, and can you share with us your theory on what it was? You're a legend, and I can't wait for the live stream. Thanks for the question. That's from Per Aspera ad Astra, I think. That light was Eric's headlamp. It was like you were just seeing it, like he like turned it off, and you're just seeing like, I don't know, a bit of the glow of it. I thought about that, yeah, because you see like a single red light back there. And oh, the sound recorders. So I don't know if Eric is here. If he is, I don't know. It'd be easy to miss the chat at this point. But the sound recorders that he had out, I'm not the guy to ask about. Like, it's really Eric. Eric's the audio engineer, and like I remember in the moment. Again, this is the next video, so I'm only going to touch on it. I remember in the moment asking him, like, hey, is there any chance, like, is that a rock slide? Is that a rock slide? Even though, like, in my head, I know that's not a rock slide, but what else could it be? Let's think of what that could have been. And he was like, I will play you all the rock slides I have recorded, and you'll see on a spectrograph how completely different it is, and you'll hear the dribbling rocks. Like there just wasn't any of that. It sounded literally nothing like a rock slide. For Eric, he's like completely convinced. I mean, I am too, but that was a wood on wood singular slam sound. What was your scariest moment at all? Yeah, probably that night alone on Ape Island 1, the first one where I was dropped off overnight, just because there was a intense thickness in the air of, like, I don't know what it was, darkness. I'm not going to pretend to know what was going on there. I just know that was a really scary night. All right, so let me get to the next question here from Anderson K444. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. My question is, you mentioned on Ape Island that you had that experience that terrified you and you didn't want to talk about it at the time. Do you feel okay with sharing it? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Ape Island 1, where I was dropped off on the island. Somebody else asked a question about it, so I'll see if I can stack these two questions up. Hey, Mike, that cabin in Ape Island where you guys stayed up. Oh, wait, no, that's not the same question. So this is the same. This guy's referring to the same night. You guys are incredible. So thankful that you share them with us. After your encounter with the large flying object, how do you feel about the connections made between UFOs, Bigfoots, star people, and portals? All right, so those two questions are about that first night in Clayoquot Sound, which is not a part of 6 Weeks Out West. This came out like 2 years ago. Yeah, so that's when I was the Tofino water taxi. You see it like slowly pulling in, and they leave me there. For me, like, the biggest thing about that night isn't even the fact that something went over the tops of the trees for like a while and was not a bird. Like, I know what a great blue heron sounds like when it flies, and I know what a huge owl or a bald eagle. Like, I know what those birds sound like. I've heard them all. I would have done anything in the moment to convince myself that it was one of those birds, because I was petrified already. And I remember being devastated that I couldn't identify it as a bird. But it wasn't even so much the thing that flew over the top of the trees. It was the general feeling of that place. Like, all of my survival instinct was like, just get back on the boat and go back. Get back on the boat and go back. And Maggie, who just went for the boat ride because I paid for it, so she like went for it. And the guy who took us out there on the boat, like, they were excited to go see this place that like they hadn't been to. So like we all kind of got off for a little bit and explored. And yeah, and Maggie was like, Mike, what are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna actually stay? And I was like, I mean, I paid all this money. I'm here, I'm committed. And that cabin, that like little rundown cabin that I had to go in, and she was like, Maggie was like, check the inside of the cabin and make sure there isn't like a body up there while there's still a boat here. While you still have an out, like, go check the inside of that cabin. Inside of the cabin didn't feel right at all. It just felt dark and thick. And boat took off, said goodbye. I totally ignored my instinct, and I just decided to stay. And there was just this thickness, this like buzz in the air of a presence. There was some type of like presence. I don't know what that was. I don't know if there was a animal. I don't know if there was a person. I don't know if there was a paranormal thing. I don't know if it was Bigfoot. I don't know if it was a UFO. So I was already on edge because of this feeling and the chills. I'd spent so much time out in the woods. So it's not like, oh, I'm scared because I'm in the woods. Like, no, I'm always in the woods and I'm always in sketchy places. This had a distinct feeling. And and it just got worse and worse and worse. I've done this before where like it kind of passes, it comes and it goes. Like in the Blue Mountains, I experienced it for a little bit, and then it was over. Like this didn't pass. It just hung in the air, and then it got worse as the night went on, and then it got dark, and then it got pitch black, and I'm in this old growth rainforest that hasn't been logged, like, and it's just thick. So I can't see very far at all. And it felt like there was something right there. And I just remember being like, I just need to get through this night. Which isn't the best mentality for making a good video, right? Because I was like, screw the video, screw all this. Like, I just need to mentally get through this and hopefully nothing happens. I remember looking around, just like being so paranoid that at some point I was just going to see something staring at me. Like, what that is, I don't know. I was expecting a UFO. I was expecting a ghost. I was expecting maybe Bigfoot, but I wasn't scared of Bigfoot that night. I was like, it to me, it almost felt like maybe paranormal, but I don't really know. But I think we all have a bit of a survival instinct. I think we all have a bit of a sixth sense that we don't even know we have. And I think it was popping off that night. So I was already on edge. And then something flew right over the tops of the trees in a very like mechanical straight trajectory type of line, right over the tops of the trees, and just went for a long time. There was no wing flap. There was nothing like that. And it like went out to sea and just kept going. And then I had to sit in the silence. It was early in the night. Then I had to sit in the silence and just bathe in this silent, dark, thick atmosphere, hoping that no UFO thing happens. Then I got lost in my head. Like I'm usually kind of okay. Yeah, Phil, I think I know what an owl sounds like because I've never heard an owl in all my time in the backcountry. Wasn't an owl. I was praying that it was an owl. I've heard owls swoop from tree to tree a gazillion times in my life. No, it wasn't an owl any more than I'm a tiger. And I was devastated that it wasn't a bird. But again, it wasn't even that went over the tops of the trees. It was just this general terrifying presence that was in the air. And but anyways, that's that story. I've told that story a gazillion times. And someone asked, like, what do I think about the UFO connection? I don't know if UFOs and all that are connected to Bigfoot. I don't know. I do think UFOs are real. I think it's a mathematical certainty that there's life of all forms in our endless universe. Are they able to get here? Seems like it. Seems like it. Everything that's happening with disclosure and everything you hear about from like Navy, Air Force pilots and just about everybody else, that, yeah, it does seem like they're here. Do I connect the two with Bigfoot? I don't know. I'm open to just about everything existing, because our five senses to interpret the world is not the only way to interpret likely the infinite realities that are going on around us at all times. It's like explaining the complexities of our galaxy to a cockroach. Their mind can only understand so much. Our minds can only understand so much. There's more going on around us than we are aware of. Anyways, that is the Alone on Ape Island story that people keep asking me about. How big would you say it was? It was big. That's the other thing. It was pterodactyl size. I remember telling someone out afterwards that it sounded like if I was on the edge of a cliff and a pterodactyl was diving through thick fog and you just couldn't see it. And like right by me, but you hear it keep going for a while. Anyways, someone asked me, I'm gonna get back to these questions here. Someone asked me, will Maggie be present? No, she's scared of these live streams. I want to know how she handles you being gone for so long. Nobody is better, more important in my life, and more important to me actually being able to put out these videos than Maggie, because if I had someone who was clingy in any way or not supportive of like my dreams, then these videos wouldn't be happening. So you guys have Maggie to thank. Aren't there indigenous stories about the Thunderbird in that area? Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Again, it's one of those ridiculous things that I'm like, well, I mean, maybe. Again, I'm open to everything. I did have some First Nations folk tell me when I told them that story, they were like, Thunderbird. I was like, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it fits the bill size-wise. I don't really know what the Thunderbird is, but I know it's definitely a part of First Nation culture, especially where I was. Whoa, $10. No way. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Top sub. It's official. The top sub. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Someone asked me, loved all the latest videos. This is Sharon Mason, I think. Loved all the latest videos, Mike. Even though you had company on the last Bigfoot video, did you feel scared at all when you started hearing the knocking? Again, they're talking about Vancouver Island Sasquatch. No, I didn't. I didn't feel scared at all. I was electric. I was into it. I was loving it. I was like, bring it on, baby. Like, there's such a difference between being alone and being with somebody else. Like, you really can't. You can't, like, it's hard to describe. But 99% of being alone in the wild is beautiful. It's incredible. It's why I love it so much. It's the best because you're not having people talking and distracting you with their BS. Sometimes it's fun, but for the most part, I like to connect with nature and hear the subtle animal sounds. And you're missing so much of that if you're out with a group of people. Now, while I'm also like the most social person ever, I also love to just be out alone, recharging and connecting. I totally got distracted by this. Behind a good man is always a great woman. Absolutely. That's Maggie. But anyways, I completely forget what I was just talking about. Was I scared? So I was not scared because there was somebody else. Like, to just have Eric there, like, what's he going to do if anything goes down? Nothing. We're both going to die. But it doesn't matter. It's just like the mentality that there's literally anybody there just completely changes the game. Do I have any merch? No, not yet. Should I start selling some merch? Sell the David Attenborough shirt? My best shirt? David Attenborough, the GOAT, legend. If anybody hates David Attenborough, you get off this stream right now. What's up, Mike? Have you ever seen orbs? I actually have. Wait, I have on a boat late night, Boston Harbor. Yeah. I actually have seen what I thought. I mean, I guess now looking back, I'm like, I guess those were orbs in the Hockomock Swamp where I grew up, Bridgewater Triangle, as it's now called. I saw lights like crossing the path in front of us, and I don't know what that could have been. Like small, exactly like the size you would expect like an orb to be. So yeah, I saw that. All right. Ape Island 2, what else do I have to say about it? Those 4 mountain lions, didn't run into them. I did hike right to where they were at night in the dark in the rain. So again, that's one adult with, you're not just going to see 4 mountain lions. That's one adult with 3 cubs. However, he probably saw them like fully grown, like just before they go off on their own. But still, a mother with cubs like that, mountain lions, yeah, that's sketchy. Didn't run into them, but this place was, I don't think anything went down when I was here, Bigfoot wise, like nothing. I think I was just out there enjoying it, loving it. Wasn't scared. I wasn't scared on this one. So, I think sometimes it's like, oh, Mike's always scared, which kind of, I don't know. I get scared, but here I wasn't. And I was out there. I was out there in places where so many people told me they were. And they are. And I was there in October when they're there. And Cam saw one like 2 days after I left. So they were there. But I wasn't, I don't know. I didn't get any bad feelings. Oh, $10. $10. Dude, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, man. You are a filmmaker and perhaps a lot on the strange side of the phenomenon, but clearly going to be successful on YouTube. Good luck. And find Les Stroud. Finding Les Stroud is harder than finding Bigfoot. All right. I've tried. I don't know. I'm kind of like a really poor man's Les Stroud, right? Like I'm just enthusiastic and I go out and I backpack, but I'm not like a survivalist. I don't know. Like if I wouldn't be able to live off the land. If like my plane crashed and I landed in the wilderness, I'd be dead quick. But thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to continue to try to hang with Les Stroud. I mean, whether we do a video or just, it'd be cool to talk to him. I emailed him. I was like, hey, these are the trips I'm doing. Would be cool. You know, I did something with Shane Corson. I did something with another guy. I'm starting to do things with other people. It'd be cool to connect. So we'll see. I don't know if he even lesser Stroud. Yeah, I'm a lesser Stroud, a much lesser Stroud. All right, let's go to the next video, or should I spend more time on this? I feel like this is a big video and it deserves some time. Do you guys have any questions about Alone on Ape Island 2? Probably not. Everyone's like, talk about the next video. Dr. Robert, he's with the BFRO. He will help you find one. A Bigfoot, and not Les Stroud, right? Oh, that's Anderson K444. I just answered your question. What else happened on Lindeman Valley trip? It was a lot of rain. I remember that. It was a lot of rain. It was very misty. It was thick fog. I remember hiking through and it was just raining and I couldn't see. My breath was causing so much of like an obstruction in front of me with the headlamp. Like I couldn't see anything. The fog was so thick. I was like, oh my God, like this is when something's going to go down. How easy would it be to kill me out there, by the way? Just like, boop, you just like take me so fast and I'd be gone. At least everybody would know that like, hey, Mike was likely killed by a Bigfoot. Or a person. Hopefully not. $2 sent in from Stephen McCormick. Dude, you're the man. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate all of you for being here in the live stream and watching all these videos and stirring the pot, arguing. Trust me, I grew up arguing with everybody about Sasquatch, and I still do. I would say the one difference with me and most Bigfoot enthusiasts, though, is that like I'm so used to people not like to thinking I'm an absolute lunatic. On the East Coast, Boston, New York City, these people don't even know what Bigfoot is. So for me to bring it up, like I'm so used to people being like, dude, you are a nut job. Shut your mouth. So like the fact that I started making these videos and I found all these other people who are enthusiastic about it, it's wonderful. $50. Whoa. Is that real? Did you really just send me $50 or is that like a mistake? Is that a mistake? Dude, if you really just sent me $50, God bless you, dude. You're going straight to heaven. First class seat to heaven. Thank you so much. I think you just sent me $50, but I feel like it's too good to be true. Someone said, wow, 50. So yeah, it is saying $50. that might have been a mistake. Dude, thank you so much. If it was a mistake, I hope you can get your money back. But otherwise, dude, yes. That's going to help, man. That's going to help for my, all of it. Anyone's contribution is going to help for these crazy trips that I do and that I'm planning. By the way, I did say there was a major announcement. I don't know if I've already talked about that yet, but there is a major announcement coming at some point in this live stream. Dude, Stephen McCormick, you are the man. You're the man. Thank you so much. Will you do any videos in or near Massachusetts? Hell yeah. I mean, I'm Massachusetts native, so I gotta at some point. I was gonna do a paranormal video. During 6 weeks out west, while I was out there, I was thinking about like different types of stuff I can do, and I was thinking, why don't I start doing like some ghost stuff, some paranormal stuff? And I remember talking to Jonathan Brown of Sailor Sasquatch, and he was like, dude, you're gonna have something like end up attaching itself to you. And then I was like, done, forget it. Let's just forget that entire plan. That is my nightmare. So forget it. I'm not messing around with the paranormal stuff. But yeah, I would do Massachusetts, like Hockomock Swamp area where I'm from. That's just because that's where I'm from, and it's like a Bigfoot zone. So how could I not do a video there? Certain areas in the Berkshires, in Worcester, and the Quabbin Reservoir, Mount Greylock area, Deerfield up into Vermont, because like Vermont gets a lot of sightings too. I want to do a lot of East Coast stuff. I'm saving it. But Steve, dude, Stephen McCormick, man, you are the man. You're all the men and women. How weird is that? It's a weird thing to say. October Mountain in the Berkshires is a hot spot. Really? Yeah, I got to talk to the Squatchachusetts team. I know Alex Petikoff is close with them. I want to connect with those two guys. What are their names? I forget, but one of them's got a legendary Boston accent. Um, Legendary Boston accent, and but they know their stuff. They're the Bigfoot experts in Massachusetts. Skinwalker Ranch. So when I was thinking about doing the paranormal stuff, I started to go down the rabbit hole of Skinwalker Ranch, and I make all kinds of crazy plans during the day. Um, and then at night, it's like, oh, you made a mistake. Especially sometimes when I'm there, like just settle down. It's a lot easier to make crazy plans during the day. And during the day, I started reaching out to everybody from Skinwalker Ranch, trying to get like a permit or just permission to go do something there. And then I realized that might be a massive mistake. And I was like, you know what? This stuff could be real. I don't care. I'm not looking into it on Skinwalker Ranch. It sounds like a very, very scary place. What has been your favorite trip so far ever? Are we talking about Bigfoot or in general? My favorite trip so far ever. I don't know. That's tough. I have like sentimental trips that I like before YouTube that I just like went on with my family, and like going up to Alaska with my family, you know, things that like kind of set things in motion for the rest of my life. Going up to Alaska with my family, and I'm moose obsessed. If you don't know already, I'm absolutely moose obsessed. And Denali National Park is known for moose, and their Alaskan subspecies, the biggest moose on the planet. And I'd never seen a bull moose. And I was sitting next to my dad at the time, who's no longer around, and we saw just the biggest fully grown bull moose right there in the Alaskan bush, and the whole trip was just spectacular. So I'd probably say one of those Alaska trips, so something like that, even before YouTube. But in terms of the YouTube stuff that you guys have seen, West Coast Trail was pretty phenomenal. That backpacking trip that I did with Maggie, the Thoroughfare was badass and awesome. Maggie almost died, so she doesn't share my point of view on that trip. She actually is still struggling physically from that trip. She calls it her thoroughfare foot. She did damage to her feet. That was a 90-mile trip over 8 days, and our packs were way too heavy. But that was a badass trip that really had us way out into the wild and dense grizzly habitat, and it was just so sick. And then some of the trips I did on this, the last Vancouver Island, like I just had a like legit Bigfoot encounter with Eric with that knock. So obviously that one. Flying into that location, one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. Backpacking Glacier National Park alone for a week. Anyways, I go off with this question. Is there any trip you'd like to revisit and why? Like actually physically go visit? Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. I'll always go back to Vancouver Island. Clearly I keep going back to Washington sites, you know, Olympic and Gifford Pinchot. But yeah, I mean, I keep going back to Yellowstone. I was talking to my buddy Joey, who's that backpacker I was talking about, and like he's always backpacking, and I'm like, I thought that like you do a certain amount of backpacking or have a certain amount of crazy experiences, and you'd be like, all right, like thankfully, I'm good. I feel satisfied, and it doesn't really happen. Like you actually just want to go back. You want to go back and do those same things again, and then you want to do all these new things. Like that's what I mean with the beauty of planet Earth. There are endless, beautiful, life-changing experiences to be had. Not only people to meet, but natural, beautiful experiences to be had, and to go back and try and duplicate it. And that's the beauty of it, is that I could go do the Thoroughfare and the West Coast Trail again, and it wouldn't be the same at all. Wildlife is always different. The experience, the weather, everything about it is different. So I could go back and do the same things. I could go and do a gazillion new things. You ever get the tent pushed in while in it, or come back and it's torn up and trashed? No, dude, that'd be pretty scary. Although that question, you ever get the tent pushed in? Oh, was this Alone on? Yeah, this is. Oh wait, no. What video was that? That wasn't Ape Island. It was Alone on Olympic earlier in the 6 weeks out west, when I had like these crazy dreams. I was having like, I don't know what you call it, like lucid dreaming or whatever, but I was having like inception dream within a dream within a dream. And I kept waking up thinking I was awake, and then I wasn't. And at one point, I woke up and I thought I was awake. I had an intense nightmare. Um, and I woke up and I was like, oh, I'm in the tent. And I'm like, oh my God, that was awful. And you're feeling on edge when you wake up from a nightmare, and then the tent started shaking like Blair Witch style. And then I shot awake again, and I was like, fine. But I don't know. A lot of people would be like, that was real, man. I don't know. I have crazy dreams. Hey Mike, you make the best videos. The Squatching Cowboy. Thanks, man. You're the man. I appreciate you, dude. I appreciate you. Yellowstone videos are awesome. Thank you so much. Yellowstone might be my favorite place in the world. My favorite places, by the way, probably like Yellowstone or Denali. I don't know why I just said that. It was a random thing for me to say. All right. That's enough for alone on Ape Island too. Let's move on to the next one. Here's a random beer I'm having. I don't think it's that good. There's probably a lot that happened on this trip that I'm forgetting to talk about. But anyways, who cares? Next one. It is this one. Vancouver Island Sasquatch. This was a big deal. This was a big deal going into it. It was a big deal doing it, and it was a big deal after it because everybody's all worked up about it. But wow, look at how creepy that guy is right there. Creepy. Also creepy. Yeah, so this trip here, there's a lot to talk about. Going into 6 weeks out west, I'm just calling it that. I wasn't calling it that when I was actually doing it. I don't know what I was calling it, but I there were all these logistics I was figuring out, all these plans, and someone had reached out to me. We now know it's Eric, had reached out to me saying that they had the location of Sandra Jane's cabin. I think he reached out because in my Alone on Ape Island, the original video that I'm always talking about, where something flew over, at some point in that, I started to talk about Sandra Jane's story, and I'm like, well, I couldn't find it, but here's the story. And I talk about the story. So I think probably Eric saw that, and he was like, oh, he's interested. And Eric has a really weird ability to see nothing, see the simplest photograph and be able to identify where it is. I don't know how. I don't think he really knows how. I think he's actually a little weirded out by it. He was totally weirded out that he basically got the coordinates for Sandra Jane's cabin accurate. Like it was right. It was somehow correct based on, like, if you go to Paddling Magazine where Sandra wrote about his story, I think there's a photo of Sandra writing by like candlelight by the window or something like that. And like, I think like Eric saw like a tree outside, and it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Is this some type of like bizarre ability, Dustin Hoffman, Rain Man situation? I'm kidding. But yeah, he was able to somehow, I don't know why I believed him. That would be something to think about. I don't know why I believed him, but I did. And Boston boys ain't never scared. That's right. I mean, I kind of get scared. But yeah, I don't know why I believed him, but I did. And in the back of my mind, I had all these trips for 6 weeks out west planned: Yellowstone, Glacier, a couple Yellowstone backpacking trips. By the way, doing one solo backpack for a week in Yellowstone is intense in dense grizzly habitat. So that's one thing on my mind. I have a whole second grizzly infested backpacking trip on my mind. I have a solo backpacking trip in Glacier. How many lives does Glacier claim? I mean, I think 2 people have already died, bear attacks and falling and weather and freezing temps because of changing temperature up in Glacier. So like there were just all these things in my mind, all 4 different big Bigfoot videos. And I know that, occasionally those can get intense. They don't always. Sometimes it's just a walk in the park and it's fun and it's super awesome to be out doing Bigfoot stuff. And then every now and then they get intense. I don't know if I can swear. Every now and then they get intense. So I had all this stuff in my mind. Nothing was occupying a bigger space in my mind than this video, this plan, because as soon as Eric gave me the location, I could then narrow down my search to like, okay, I don't want to give too much away because I am trying to keep the location under wraps just because like for so many reasons. Um, but I I was able to contact the float plane company that services the area. I bet you now they're just probably going to get so many calls. They're going to be like, "Screw you guys, we're not taking anybody. We're not taking anyone there." But I called them. I cold called them, and I remember I was at work, and I called the company, and I was like, "Hey, just out of curiosity, I told them I film nature documentaries for YouTube. Didn't say what type, and I was like, I do outdoor adventures for YouTube, and I'm just wondering at blah 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 location, is there anywhere where I could set up a tent?" And actually, no. The first question I asked was, "Can I stay at that cabin?" And they gave me the contact information for the people for the cabin. So that was the first thing that I did. Um, so I then contacted whoever I was supposed to contact to try and get permission to stay at the cabin. I was totally going to stay there. I was excited to do it, and they all rejected me. They all rejected me. I I kind of think you can stay there, but once they found out, somebody Googled me, and and I don't know if he meant to BCC the email, but he CC'd it. Like, I don't know, he included me in it, to like what sounded like his boss, and was like, "I just searched Mike Wanders on YouTube. He makes Bigfoot videos," and then they immediately were like, "No." Um, didn't want me to go, and I think it was the Bigfoot Association. I think, and I'm not the only one who thinks this, that the research group up there that works for BC Parks, supposedly studying local wildlife, like I do think they study the local wildlife. I think they are hyper aware of what's actually going on up there. The float plane company, the person I talked to at the float plane company is the one who floated, if you will, that theory originally to me, that the audio equipment that they have outside the cabin, that it's all like the cabin itself as a research base, it's totally just a front. If you want to get all, conspiracy for a second, that it's all just a front, and that they're actually conducting research on Sasquatch for the BC government, for the Canadian government. But that's just a conspiracy. I don't know if it's true or not. Anyways, um, I was rejected to stay at the cabin. So that's why I did not stay at the cabin. So my next question was, is there anywhere where I can set up a tent? Because I'll go out there and I'll set up a tent. And the answer was no, not by the cabin itself. There is nowhere to set up a tent anywhere near the cabin, but there's like a place maybe nearby. I think I was the one who like looked at it on Google Earth, and I was like, "Oh, it looks like there's maybe an open space nearby where I can maybe set up a tent." I didn't know how sketchy it actually was tide wise, and I was pretty lucky that we like lucked out on tides. That because yeah, we totally could have got like washed out in the middle of the night. Um, and so I asked this person who works for the float plane company, is there like, can I set up my tent there? And she was like, "Well, technically you can, but I just want you to know that." Again, remember, I only said that I create outdoor adventures for YouTube. That's it. And she said, you can technically set up a tent maybe in the spot that you're talking about, but there's something you need to know. Whether you believe in this stuff or not, we think there's a group of Sasquatch up in that area, and they are known to be aggressive. Um, and our float plane cannot come, no matter what happens, in the middle of the night. We can only come first thing in the morning. And then told me like 5 other ridiculous stories before I mentioned anything about my own interest in Bigfoot. So now like my mind is like blown. So then I was like, okay, I have to be honest. Like I kind of am interested in Bigfoot. Like that's kind of the reason I'm going. And then like the stories from there just were nuts. And so because of all these stories I was being told going into this, it was all I was thinking about the entire 6 weeks. Like from day one. I remember my first video called The Edge of the Wild, where I'm backpacking in Yellowstone. Like, I remember I had just got a couple emails back from people who work at the Sandra Jane cabin and their replies, and it was all I could think about. And I'm like, shit, like, well, I don't know if I can swear. I was like, I don't know if I can, like, am I going to be stolen? Everybody's telling me not to go. Like, people are telling me not to go. Because I had the location, I found a very boring research report on local bird life from that area that had been done by wildlife biologists based out of that cabin. I don't know how I found it, but I did. But at the end of this research report, there's a list of names and their contacts. So I emailed them all, just asking them, like, hey, you know, I'm looking to maybe stay at the cabin. Out of curiosity, just wondering if you've ever experienced anything strange. That's what I said. And the responses were never no. Nobody was like, no. It was always like, no comment, or not supposed to talk about it, or talk to this person, don't talk to me, or don't do it. This biologist said, he was like, what did he say? He was like, I personally would not recommend going in case the beings that don't want you there decide to pay you a visit. What? Like, so, like, these are wildlife biologists who like, I only found their contact information from like a very boring research report. They're not looking for attention in any way. This is a private email. And then I think he said something about, don't use my name because I don't know who you are. Like, so it was like one warning after another heading into this trip. So the person at the flow plane told me, I can't believe I'm finally talking about this story, by the way, because I was like, this was so under wraps for a long time, and I had to wait 7 months to finally start editing this video. And she told me that, she was like, okay, so most of us have not been there. Like, very few people have been there. This is a very, very remote location. But that little, like, sandy area where I was up by the rivers, like, she said that her uncle, and I talked about this in the video, said that her uncle went there, and as soon as the plane landed, his dog hopped off the plane and bolted up the river. Just bolted up the river like it was chasing something. And the girl that I was talking to, her uncle chased the dog, went after the dog deep into the woods. He was also out there with someone else. I don't know if it was like his wife or his fiance or something like that. I forget the details. But she stayed back by the plane. He went up the river inlet looking for his dog, and he got way up there and actually saw all these big wet spots, like something had come up out of the river onto the grass and up into the woods. And right after that, starts hearing a girl's voice crying and laughing in the woods, all around him in the woods. Like, a little girl who he thought was his niece's voice, the girl that I was actually talking to is his niece. He thought it was her voice crying and laughing in the woods all around him. And so that was one of the stories I was told. So, like, he comes racing back to his, whoever he was with, his wife's fiance, and she's just standing there. She didn't hear it, and he's like worked. And yeah, she didn't make a sound. It wasn't, I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. I don't know what to make of any of that. Like, is that Bigfoot? Does Bigfoot do that? Maybe. According to the Browns and some of the stories they have with, like, mimicry, like, hey, humans can mimic all kinds of animal sounds, something like that. King of the forest, of course, they'd be able to mimic whatever they want, but, like, all around, I don't know. It's pretty damn weird. She also said that she was like, oh, that's the location where that guy went out to and left all his stuff and called for rescue. And I was like, Sandra Jane, yes, the guy. And she was like, I have no idea. But he literally left all his, like, world-class gear and his kayaks and everything, because it couldn't fit on the plane because he was so desperate to get out. And she was like, the last couple that we took to that cabin, same thing. They called for, like, immediate rescue because of crazy disturbances in the night. I don't know. She didn't tell me actually what happened, but I just know that they called for rescue the very next day. She also said, I didn't share this in the video because I just felt like I was telling one too many ridiculous stories after another. She said that we dropped somebody off there, and they woke up in their sleeping bag at the top of the mountain with no idea how they got there. So because of that story, I was a little concerned that if these are Sasquatches that just rarely see people, and therefore they're maybe going to be a little more aggressive towards people, like I think the ones in the Gifford Pinchot, Olympic, and down in the continental U.S. or the lower 48, like they're probably more used to people, so they know like to back off. It's probably not a good idea to always interact or try to intimidate. These ones don't see people as often. Wilder Sasquatches, as Chris Spencer calls them, and they're more likely to do crazy things, like what happened to Albert Osman and Toba Inlet. Like it's a similar thing, like what happened to this guy. It's a similar thing what happened to Mushalat Harry. Is that his name? Something like that. That's another famous story around that area where people are taken. So I was literally like concerned that I was going to be stolen by this guy in the night. But so anyways, that was like going through my head for like 6 weeks, the entire trip. It was hovering over my head because that was the final thing I was going to do. And the whole time I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like I'm getting one warning after another, not from like bizarre Bigfoot enthusiasts. No, this was coming from people who have nothing in the game, nothing. Who were talking to me about Bigfoot for the first time. I'm sure like after my video, like that float plane company might get Bigfoot related questions or whoever, but then they're not talking about it. They're not used to having these conversations. And I was just getting showered with one sketchy story after another. But anyways, so that's kind of the backstory. Obviously I went and I think I had just finished Alone on Ape Island 2. I was sleeping in my car up in the Nemint Valley, and I had to leave in the middle of the night, which was kind of scary, driving out those roads and just like the pitch black and so that I could make the float plane in time. I had called Eric. We'd only talked a couple times on the phone trying to figure things out. Eric was the man because he was so willing to just like, hey, let's do this. No questions asked. Like we didn't have to over plan. We didn't have to like talk because I didn't have time to. I was out in these crazy locations and I would have service maybe once a week. So I just didn't have the time to really over plan anything or to even plan. But with the one night that I had, I think like a week before I got out to Vancouver Island, I called him and I was like, hey man, let's do this. And he was like, done. He was just like, no questions asked. I'm going to go out to the most remote location on Vancouver Island with a stranger to a place that's supposed to be potentially very, very sketchy and see what happens. Let me get some of these comments here. My friend said he saw one when he was 15 coming out of a creek, and he said it looked like someone grabbed a poodle out of the water and slammed it on the ground where he walked. Yeah. Well, they don't like dogs, apparently. Why? Because dogs give up their location all the time. We never see them, but dogs can go right up to them because they smell them. So, I was talking about that with Shane Corson in the Gifford Pinchot, that like, yeah, they don't like dogs for that reason. And dogs seem to get it pretty bad sometimes from them. I think Shane was telling me a story of like someone who found like his dog like fully skinned in its backyard. That would be cool to be taken to the top of the mountain. Yeah, as long as you live, right? As long as you live, I guess. And as long as you're not like, for me, an outdoor enthusiast, hopefully it wouldn't scare the shit out of me to the point where I don't go to the woods again. I don't know. That would be my concern. But anyways, so I had only like done like 2 phone calls with Eric, and I was just racing out of there early in the morning, driving all the way to the Nemint Valley to Tofino, and met Eric basically on the plane. Like I remember we got on the plane. I was like, hey, I'm scrambling. I'm unorganized, trying to get all this stuff, not to forget anything. Get on the plane. Eric's ready to go with all his audio equipment. And he's a backpacker, which I love, like, because I just need somebody who can hold his own. Like, I'm not going to, there is zero hand holding going on from either end. Like, I need somebody who's going to, and that's what I loved about Shane Corson. Like, dude's a badass outdoorsman, goes out alone all the time. So, like, is totally just someone who, like, you don't have to worry about them. You want someone who can go out there and handle his own. And Eric's also one of those guys, backpacks all the time. But we met on the plane, and the pilot like looks at us and he's like, "Wait, you guys haven't met like ever?" We're like, "No, we're just meeting right now." And that's when I didn't even know that it was as remote as it was. And it wasn't until this moment when the pilot said, well, I'm about to take you to the most remote location on Vancouver Island, and you guys don't even know each other, which is kind of funny. Anyways, my dog didn't like them either. Yeah, so I've also found that with certain dogs, especially like the big dogs, the guard dogs, pit bulls, Dobermans, those seem to be the ones that are the most afraid of them. Like, I don't know if that's maybe because they're like potentially a threat. The Sasquatch just know that that's that dog's thing. Like, it goes after things. But yeah, like on the West Coast Trail, when I did the Crab Shack and we're talking to Shelly and Carl, who operate the Crab Shack, they were talking about their guard dogs, whose job it is to chase off bears. I mean, they bolt after bears and mountain lions. That's what they do. And whenever this thing comes around, the tail's between the legs and they're whimpering and they just lie down and they do not go anywhere near it, which really kind of spooks me out. Mount Adams Bigfoot video next. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so it's time for the major announcement. It's time for the major announcement. I was gonna do this in a post. I was gonna do this in a post like I did last time, but I'm just gonna tell you right now, live. I am doing another 6 weeks out west. I'm doing another 6-week trip. I'm doing it starting next week. Next week, I'm flying out and I'm going to be gone basically all summer, duplicating everything I just did. All that stuff that I just did, I'm going to go back out and I'm going to do it all again. And I couldn't be more excited. I couldn't be more intimidated. I'm actually really intimidated. It's bigger backpacking trips. It's bigger Bigfoot trips. It's everything. Everything's bigger. Everything's sketchier. Everything's more exciting. Everything's more beautiful. And you're absolutely right. Thank you to Maggie. Thank you to Maggie for being the most understanding, supportive person ever. That's without a doubt the biggest obstacle is just the emotional part of that, like not seeing my wife for that long, leaving my wife for that long. And it's just, that part is absolutely awful. But the fact that she is supportive in this is humongous. And I'm almost emotional about it because I know what the original 6 weeks out west meant. I know what it took. I know what it required to plan and to get through, and the ups and the downs and all those different moments, relentless one after another moments. And the fact that I'm doing this again, starting next week, is pretty intense. It's really intense. I don't know if I'm gonna like announce yet where I'm going. I'll be like posting some stuff like photos and things as I go. But that's the bad news is that I'm not going to have new videos until like at least the end of August. So that's the bad news. I'm sorry about that, but I got to go film. I got to go film, and I'm going to film a gazillion videos. I'm going to film all the episodes in between, just like last time. I'm going to some of the most beautiful places. I will tell you this: it's North America. I am sticking to North America, but it's the most beautiful places that I didn't get to in North America, and some of the most legit Bigfoot locations possible, and some ridiculous backpacking trips that I'm planning. I've been working on this for a while. I probably need to work on it a lot more in the next week. How much does a 6-week trip cost you roughly? A lot. So it's a big investment, and I take that risk. That it's a big investment. A lot of upfront cost. So, that's why you guys help me out is really helpful. I also will take this chance to talk about something that nobody cares about, but I've started a Patreon. I started a Patreon, and it's like $5 a month, and it's going to be a lot of behind the scenes content. It's going to be all my videos posted with no advertisements at all. So if you have any interest in watching my videos with no ads, they'll be all on there eventually. I think right now I only have this video and like the first episode. There's going to be all kinds of blogs. So like me talking about my experiences and what was actually happening, that'll be all be on my Patreon. I think the link is in the video description of this video. So yeah, I need all the money I can get so to go do these things, because how much does a float plane cost? That float plane round trip to this location, $1,500. All right. And that was one of the trips. That was one of the videos. So it is a lot, not to mention the fact that I am going much, much more towards full-time on YouTube. I was treating YouTube as a full-time job, but I also was working a full-time job in New York. So I was working 100-hour week. I was working 100-hour weeks since October, since I got back. Saturday, 15 hours of editing, Sunday, 15 hours of editing, and every free moment during the week, I was working on YouTube, but then I was also doing a very full-time job in New York. So it was 100-hour weeks. It was intense. I don't know how things are going to look, but I do know that I'm moving much closer towards full-time on YouTube. And in order to do that, I need to, I need to have that Patreon up and running. I think I have 0 members at the moment. 0 members. I gotta Google how to get more than 0 members on Patreon. You guys sending me super thanks helps, and I'm getting help. I don't think he wants me to talk about this because he wants to kind of be discreet. But I will say I just started to get help from an awesome company. So if you guys go out and want to rent some cars, get Ford cars. I'm getting some help from Ford, the car company. So that helps as well, especially when I'm not leaving, but just I'm losing a good amount of money with going full time on YouTube. But anyways, yeah, I mean it's big news that I'm even talking about the fact that I'm doing this new 6-week trip. It might be 7 weeks. It might be 7. It might be 7. We'll see. Just kidding, Maggie. We'll see. But she's been so supportive. Honestly, it's me. It's they want me to get rid of the Jeep. No, I don't have a Jeep. I always just rent Jeeps. But a couple times I've rented a Ford Bronco, and Ford Broncos are awesome. I love Broncos. I actually don't have a Jeep. That's always like what I rent. I have a old Jeep Grand Cherokee here in New York City, but it's currently missing. it's literally missing right now. It was either stolen or towed, or I just don't think I care at all because I'm trying to focus on a gazillion things 1 week before not seeing my wife for essentially 2 months. What about getting in touch with some trail angels? What's a trail angel? That sounds nice. Yeah, look it up. Have I ever been to Bluff Creek? Yeah, Bluff Creek was my first Bigfoot video I ever did. But yeah, I'm honestly, I guess since I'm talking about it, I was planning on doing like a post just like I did last time, and I was like 6 weeks. I probably will do a post because I don't know, not everybody's gonna see this live stream. So, but I to talk about it, like I'm very, very excited. But at this point, my mentality is to always deal with like, how do you deal with worst case scenario? How are you going to be prepared in this situation and that situation? I'm not thinking about, I can't wait to see this mountain range and these trees and am I going to see a Bigfoot? Am I going to see grizzly bears? Like, I'm very, very focused on being prepared in every situation, having plan B, C's, and D's for each backpacking trip that I'm doing. Right now, the first backpacking trip I'm doing is supposed to be like 7 or 8 days alone. there's so many different logistics that I got to figure out. But it's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely crazy. This live chat's already been 1 hour and 20 minutes. Forks, Washington, Bigfoot video next. Yeah, well, I passed through Forks on 6 weeks out west. I don't. What am I going to call this video? Not this video. This story. 6 weeks out west, part 2. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Was it pretty surreal seeing the cabin? Yes, it was. To get back to this, it was very, very surreal. And it was like, I'm looking in. It's just like there's big windows. There's big windows. Like I feel like Sandra Jane and anyone else who stayed there was probably like, I really wish these windows weren't so big. Clearly, like if they were lethal, aggressive creatures, they could have just broken in and killed him. They could kill anybody they want, but they don't. They don't. They just are very, very good at intimidating you and scaring you away from the areas that they probably don't want you in. 2026 out west. Yeah, maybe 2026 out west. Maybe I should take a vote on this. Need to do a Colorado vid, an Alaska vid, and a Florida skunk ape video. One of those 3 is happening. Oh God. Don't say too much, Michael. Unless they're hungry. Hey, I've talked to people and they're like humans. They're like bears. They, for the most part, behave a certain way, but they're individuals, and I'm sure there's rogue ones every now and then having a bad day or whatever, and maybe those are the people who end up being talked about by David Politis on Missing 411. But I don't know. I guess I'll keep talking about this video because I'm distracted by my new 6 weeks out west plan. But yeah. So what? Oh, right. I got to get to the most important part of this whole 6 weeks out west video. I already did. So we visited the cabin. Oh, so we fly in, right? So we're flying in. I just met Eric, and I can't believe how remote it is as we're flying out there. Like we're like, you're in a plane. You're going at a good speed, and it's just mountains covered in old growth forest as far as you can see, and rugged coastline. Like there's no development. There is like right near the town of Tofino, and then that's it. It's just rugged. Like it's like that way in much of BC. Like if you fly from BC to, if you fly over BC to Alaska, you're over BC for I don't know how many hours, and it's literally nothing but forest. So yeah, it was just like that part was intense and a little bit intimidating. And when we're about to land, we see a fishing vessel. Like kind of just hanging out where we're about to land. And my immediate reaction was like, shit, because I was thinking like, this video is all about being in a remote location that like, oh, people don't go here. What the hell? I thought nobody's ever been here except for like the couple stories I've heard. Like, why the hell is there a fishing vessel way out here? So at first I was upset. Like I was like, that kind of ruins it. And we land, and they thought they were in trouble. They were like, they thought that we were coming in to bust them for something. and then, they're like, what the hell are you doing out here? And Eric, like without hesitation, was like, we're filming a Bigfoot documentary. And I was like, oh God. And then they were like, what? And he was like, well, we're filming a Bigfoot documentary. And I was like, all right, well, I guess we're just full disclosure. And they were like, huh? They like didn't get it at all. So we get off the plane, and we're on the like little tidal area there, and they come over in their dinghy once the plane takes off, and they were the 2 most cool guys ever, and it ended up being an absolute blessing that they were there for so many reasons. So one, we ended up telling them all about the like why we were there, and they were like they had no idea. They only posted up here because they were avoiding 2 days of really intense winds and swells further out in the sound. So they pulled way in here in this quiet spot hidden from the wind, and just spent a couple nights out on the boat. And they had no idea of any of these stories, no idea. And so suddenly we're telling them all these things. They were like, oh yeah, this is supposedly happened over here, and that cabin is right over there, and that cabin's crazy, and like this person told me like, not to come here. And so suddenly they were obsessed, and they were like, oh my God, we got to go find this cabin. And so it was the perfect opportunity. Because of them, I actually was not going to see the cabin. I just would have maneuvered the video in a certain way, and it probably wouldn't have been all about the cabin. But because we were actually able to go there, the narrative could be a little bit more about the cabin itself. So they took us out on a dinghy out to like their main vessel, and it was just an awesome experience. And suddenly they were all in. They were all in on this adventure. It was Jim and Cody. Just two awesome guys, and just like totally like stopped what they were doing and was like, let's go find that cabin. Eric had the coordinates, and we pull up to the coordinates, and there's the cabin. I don't know what's going on with Eric, but he was right. And that was such a cool moment. I think I got that on film, where Eric's like on top of the vessel and he starts screaming when he sees it, which like, how cool is that for him? Like someone who's been like in his head about this forever, trying to figure out like where it could be. He's so diabolical with that stuff, and like just diligent and organized. He sends me like his notes. He sent me his notes after our experience. He sent me notes for finding other places. And I'm like the polar opposite. I'm like just jump out of the plane mentality, baby. Let's go. Let's figure it out on the fly. And Eric is so prepared, and that's why we worked like really well together, I think, is because he's just super organized, and brings something to the table that I do not, which is like a certain level of expertise and research in audio. I don't understand any of that. My crappy audio recorder half the time never works for really simple reasons that like I still screw up. I'm just happy to be out there, and I'm trying to jam so much stuff into a certain amount of time that I just don't have enough time to properly research. And Eric just came in prepared. But anyways, it was pretty exciting for him to actually see that cabin for the first time. He starts yelling on top of the boat, and then got down on the dinghy and went out to it. And yeah, that was just so cool to pull up to this place that I had heard about. I'd read about Sanders' story for a long time. To me, it seemed like one of the most legit stories there was. So to actually go out there to a place where not just Sander, but all these other people were referencing, and they weren't going to let me stay there, which is fine. I totally respect that. And I didn't stay there, but you can go over and look at it. It was a really cool moment. And then, so we get back on the vessel, and then they're like, all right, we're going to take you back, and then we're taking off. We're going to head out before it gets dark. So they actually did leave the area that we were, and they went way out into the sound, and they left Eric and I there alone. So what ended up happening, whoa, $10 from Jason Keene. Dude, you're the man. You're the man. I mean, it's raining on this live chat. My God, dude, thank you so much, man. Jason, appreciate you, dude. Appreciate you. Awesome. You guys don't have to like send me money, but hey, if you want to, I'll accept it. I love gifts. Okay. I'm not going to be too cool for gifts. Love it. Thanks, man. I really appreciate you, dude. Really, really appreciate you. So yeah, they drop us off, and then they take off. And so like, here's how it went down. Here's why it's really interesting. Before the fishermen took off, they had themselves explored that little tidal zone where Eric and I camped before we got there. $20. What's happening? I can't finish a sentence without more money coming in. Woo! Maggie, moving to Malibu, baby. Just kidding. I need this money for the trips. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I adore you. Wow. What's happening here? What's happening? It's getting out of hand. I think I'm gonna have to keep this chat going for 3 straight days. I'm just gonna have to wear a diaper and not get up. Thank you so much to everybody who's helping out. God bless the donors indeed. Really. Yeah. I mean, this helps. This helps me do like the craziest stuff possible, because guess what? I'm absolutely willing to. Maybe I should talk about some of my plans. Maybe I will, but hold on. Thank you so much to Jason and Kirsten and everybody else who has donated tonight. So the fishermen explored the little tidal area that we were in before we got there. And they said that Is that? I mean, I hope that's not another $20. Is that another $20? I think that's the same $20, right? I don't know. I don't know. If that's another $20, I don't even know what to say. But I think it's the same $20. And maybe that's just the same notification. But if it's not, holy guacamole. This is crazy. It's another. What? Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you guys. That Kirsten, that's insane. Is that your name, Kirsten? Where are you from? Tell me where you're from. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about you for a while. Hey, here's another $2. There's another $2 from Miss Vermont herself, right? Vermont. Another one per Kirsten. Man, you guys are. This is crazy. This is like one of those. What do they call them? The telethons that I used to see back in the day. Maybe I should do something like that. Just have like 20 employees up here frantically answering phone calls. Man, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's impossible for me to stay on track here. I have a full ADD mind, and I keep seeing more money pouring in. Thank you so much. 50? What? Maggie, can you bring me a diaper? I have to go to the bathroom, but I can't ever end this live stream. What? Keep up the great work, Mike and the Sasquatch research. This is what we need. A fresh pair of eyes and mindset. Happy to support Mike from Langford, BC. What? Oh my God. Thank you so much. Thank you. This is just turning into I don't even get to talk anymore. This is crazy. This is crazy. I desperately need a diaper. Wow, guys. Thank you. So $50? Crazy. This isn't normal, I don't think. I don't think this is normal. I don't think any of this is normal. Diapers. That's right. I need several diapers. I can't end this live stream. This is going to be the most expensive piss of my life. How much money is it going to cost me? All right. I'm not ending it yet. Baby. Thank you so much, Victoria. Thank you. Wait. No, Victoria Gunner. That is not your name, I don't think. Or maybe it is. What's your name? You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me any more about yourself if you don't want to. Hold on, let me thank you so much to you guys. Maybe a diaper sponsorship. Genius. Then I'm moving to Malibu. It's Mike. Your name's Mike? Dude, Mike, thank you so much. Damn. This is crazy. I don't know. This is surreal. I'm trying to stay on track here, and it's literally impossible. But thank you, Mike. I think Kirsten is another one. Diane, is that your name, Diane, up in Vermont? That's not your username, but I think your name is Diane, the one who keeps helping out and always has been supporting my channel from day one, and everybody else who's not just donated but is joining this live stream and supporting videos in any way. I really appreciate it. It's a sign to keep hiking. It's a sign to go do this damn 6-week trip. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you what, when you lie in bed at night and you start thinking about all your problems. Okay, that was happening to me last night, and I couldn't sleep. And I'm like, oh man, like maybe I shouldn't do this trip at all. Like maybe I should bail. Like, what if I die? I'll be fine. But it's just like I started like getting in my head about it, and this helps. That like not the money. I appreciate the money, but it's the fact that like people want to see me go out there and do this and be a part of it and join the journey. Like you guys are coming. You guys are going to join in on this, and you're going to feel what it's like to not know if there's a massive 1,000-pound grizzly bear right around the corner when I'm alone in the rain. You're going to know what it's like when I'm walking around in the dark on Prince of Wales Island in Alaska. There you go. That's one of the spots. But I'm not going to tell you. When I'm going there, so that nobody shows up and murders me. But Prince of Wales Island, Alaska, is where I'm doing one of the Bigfoot videos. $10. Oh my God, what's happening? From Philip. Wow, been in New Englander my whole life. Live in Vermont, dude. Vermont, one of my favorite places in the world. Thank you so much, man. Crazy. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm probably not even going to get a chance to talk about Bigfoot at this point because every time people just keep sending more money. This is ridiculous. Thank you so much, guys. Doing this live stream was the best decision of my life. Thank you, Philip. You're the man. All of you. But yeah, last night I started to get a little freaked out. And because that's when all the doubt kicks in, right? At night when you're lying still, there's no action that can be taken. You can't go do something. So it's just your mind and doubt that takes over. And I started to get a little nervous. And then, just knowing that there's so much support from people who want to join in these experiences with me, that's all the motivation I need. That's all the motivation I need. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm ready. Next week, baby. One of the places that I'm planning on going to, things can change. But like I just said, Prince of Wales Island in Alaska, but I'm doing Alaska as a whole. I'm doing a lot of stuff up in Alaska. And also a couple totally different locations in North America, but Alaska is going to be part of it. So why are you glitching? Hopefully I'm not glitching. But anyways, where the hell was I on the Vancouver on the Sasquatch story? So the fishermen, before they took off, they were exploring that little grassy area where we were. And they said that before we talked about Bigfoot, they just said, hey, by the way, these rivers are filled with salmon. And like, we have never seen a place like this with all the fish in these rivers where there's no bear scat, there's no bear tracks, there's no bear paths, there's no salmon carcasses, there's no fish carcasses on the riverbanks, nothing, no sign of bears. And in my head, I was like, oh God, that's it. This is the best place for Bigfoot. Because that's what you always hear, right? That like in certain places, Bigfoot is like, they're king and like bears don't really cross with them. $20. What do I do? I might be able to make it from here into the toilet. It's 20 feet. $20. So excited for the new videos, man. Dude, I thank you so much. Thank you. Again, you guys don't have to send me stuff, but I do like gifts. and this really helps. This helps with all the backpacking meals that I just ordered for $1 gazillion for 2 months. All those backpacking meals and everything else that I have to get, and various flights and cars and all the gear and float planes and stuff like that. I am planning on doing the whole float plane, bush plane stuff, remote experiences. But thank you so much to Tan Blue, dude. Awesome. Thank you to everybody else. Keep up the great work. I think your videos are amazing. Thank you, Ontario Bigfoot. Are you the Ontario Bigfoot everyone keeps talking about? You might be. It seems like it. Everyone keeps talking about Ontario Bigfoot, and that might be you. Let me just think. So they told us there was no bear sign anywhere, which is really weird. I have never seen a place like that. Never mind a place like, why is my sofa popping into the video? Go away. I've never seen a place like that have no bear sign, especially with these active salmon rivers and everything. Like, there should be some bear scat. I had been in the woods for 6 weeks at that point, and probably every day of that 6 weeks, I saw at least black bear scat, and then grizzlies when I'm in grizzly country, and there was nothing. So it was like I got a zillion stories from people before heading out there, and then you get there and there's no bear sign. We're there in mid-October, which people always say is like the best time for a potential Bigfoot encounter. And fishermen take off, they leave us, and Eric and I start setting up. Yeah, Miss Linda. Oh, it's not Diane, it's Linda. Yes, sorry, Linda. As a top-notch subscriber, supporting the channel for a long time. Thank you. So the fishermen leave us, and it starts to get dark. We have a campfire right there on the edge of the water. And so like we're on a little bluff here, and we're camped like here in the grassy area, and it drops down, and there's a river here, and then a slope. There's a slope that goes up on the other side of the river. As soon as it gets dark, as soon as we get a fire going, as Matt Pruitt and Cliff Barrickman talk about in the podcast clip that I include in the video from Bigfoot and Beyond. Go check out that podcast, best Bigfoot podcast there is. They talk about this exact type of scenario playing out in so many different encounters. And this is what happened. As soon as we basically indicated that we weren't leaving and that we were staying the night, and by setting up a fire, setting up a tent, we're indicating that we're not leaving. It just got dark, and we hear crack. It sounded like a thick. I know you hear it on audio, but it being there in person, it was directly on this nearby slope, right, heavily forested, steep slope, right in front of us. If it was random, it was a completely still, windless part of the night. There was wind early in the day. At this point, it was dead. It was dead quiet. If it was like random, or if it was an animal, this place is huge. No sound coming from the woods. We were hearing sea lions and seals in the water itself, but up in the trees, no. Directly in front of us, we hear crack, and then crack again, and then crack again. It sounded like a very thick tree limb being snapped off of a tree. But even that, if I'm desperate, I could be like, okay, maybe that's a bear. Maybe that's a bear climbing up a tree. Remember, they said there's no bears, but maybe that's a bear climbing up a tree, and it stumbled, and it just took off some limbs as it fell down. But either way, it was weird to hear limbs that thick being snapped. So I start filming. As soon as I hear those cracks, I start filming, and I turn the camera on. And here's the weird thing: the video that I shot right before we hear those sounds, the very last thing that I did right before we start hearing sounds is I told the story of that girl's uncle when he went up the river and starts hearing the laughing and giggling all around him, or laughing and crying all around him. I just told that story. Seconds later, I turn off the camera. Seconds later, crack, like big, thick limbs, what sounds like being snapped off of a tree. So I start recording, and I'm saying we're hearing sounds right across the river or something like that. And then whack! That's not a bear. That's not the first part. It maybe could have been a bear climbing up a tree and everything snaps on the way down, or even maybe somehow a rock slide, even though it doesn't sound like that. Like, the first part could technically be an animal, but for there to be that long pause, I don't know how long the pause was, at least probably 30 seconds if you listen to the whole tape, and then a singular explosive wood knock. That to me is the most substantial, without a doubt, the most substantial Sasquatch experience I've ever had. Maybe the only Sasquatch experience I've ever had. I've had stuff, where it's like, well, it could be this, it could be that, it might be Bigfoot. I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. But this was like, it's been 7 months. It's been 7 months since this happened. And I told Eric, I was like, I'm going to put this out there, and I want somebody to tell me what the hell that was. I want somebody to tell me what that was. Because if Bigfoot's not real, then what was that? Even a vocalization could be like an animal distorted as it carries through canyons, or an animal in distress being murdered. Like, they make crazy sounds, but like a singular explosive wood knock, like, you guys tell me, like, what could that be? What could that be? I'm sorry it took me 2 hours to get to the most important part of this live chat, but I'm like, it's been 7 months. It's been 7 months. And I know I'm pretty sure Bigfoot's real, but I'm also like, but really? Like, really? I know all the eyewitness reports and like all the footprints, and I'm like, okay, obviously Bigfoot's real, but there's still a part of me that's like, but it can't be. Are you telling me there was a Bigfoot right there? I think there was a Bigfoot right in front of us. That's what I think. And somebody asked me a really good question. They said, when you left there, if you going into the trip, if you weren't thinking about Bigfoot, if you didn't even know what Bigfoot was, what would you tell people you think that was? And that's a good question. So I remember saying to someone right away, it literally sounded like there was a gorilla up in the hill. It sounded to me like there was a damn big gorilla up in the hill snapping off limbs. Eric's theory, this isn't my theory. Eric's theory is that he thinks it snapped something off of the tree and then used that to bang a tree. I don't know if that's true, but it sounded to me like there was a damn gorilla up on the slope. That's not an animal. It's not an elk. It's not a bear. And we rule out people by being in the most remote single location on Vancouver Island. We ruled out people. So it's not people. It's a Bigfoot. It's a Bigfoot. Every time I'm like, oh, maybe Bigfoot's not real, blah, 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 blah. Then I'm like, well, wait. Well, what the hell made that knock sound? What the hell made that knock sound? It was a Sasquatch. Sasquatch is real. It's crazy. It's crazy. So anyways, that's the story of the knock. And so Matt Pruitt and Cliff and Bobo, they talk about it on Bigfoot and Beyond. And I was listening on a podcast like a couple months later, and I couldn't believe that Matt Pruitt started describing the exact situation where a lot of times these intimidation-like encounters happen when someone is camped in like a small grassy flat area that is kind of cut off by rivers. And then on the other side of those rivers, or river, maybe it's just one river, there's a steep wooded slope. Oftentimes it's a bowl, exactly like where we were. We were surrounded by these steep, heavily forested slopes, rivers cutting us off from accessing those slopes. So even if you wanted to go right up there, you couldn't. I don't know how deep that river was, 20 feet, probably deeper. Like you can't, we wouldn't have been able to even go up the slope. So it's like Matt Pruitt's theory is that like they like for there to be that border between them. And it's almost like an amphitheater, and they have a perfect view of you, and you're just super exposed. And I don't know what the knock is about. A lot of people have different theories on why they knock. Maybe they're looking to see like what our reaction is going to be. Maybe they're looking to see, oh my God, dude. All right, we're keeping this live stream going for a week. $100? $100? You don't have to tell me your name, but I wish I could thank you by your name. Oh my God. For fuel and food, love from Germany. Dude, what? What? Oh my God. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Wow. I hope all your wildest dreams come true. I don't know what else to say. I feel like Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite. Tell them all their wildest dreams will come true. I hope all your wildest dreams come true, my guy or girl. I'm not really sure. You don't have to tell me your name, but if you do, thank you so much. Wow. This is crazy. This live stream has gone off the rails. like this video did, like this experience did. I guess I should have seen that coming. I'm talking about the crazy Bigfoot encounter. Like this live stream is going to be bananas, full banana land. Love your videos, Mike. Jason from England. Kent, thank you so much. Thank you. Wow. It's Mary for Soul. Thank you so much. $100. Honestly, that's I don't even know what to say. I'll be thinking of you. And everybody else when I'm out in these locations, and I go to fill up my Ford Bronco. I'll be thinking of you, and that money really helps. Really helps. Don't tell Maggie, but my backpacking meals that I just paid for cost $600. So thank you. So everything helps. Everything helps. Wow. Now I'm obviously speechless and I'm just mumbling crazy nonsense and revealing secrets that I wasn't going to reveal. Um, so thank you. Have I ever been down south? I have been down south. I used to go to Florida every single year. I love Florida. I want to do a couple of Bigfoot videos down in Florida. I want to do the Everglades. I want to do Mayaka, the Mayaka skunk ape. I go to Mayaka State Park every single year. Mayaka is where one of the best photographs ever was taken by something supposedly stealing her apples every single night on her porch. So she put out a camera and actually captured what looks like an orangutan upright. I think you guys know that photo. So yeah, I want to do something in Mayaka. What about the honey buns? I do need honey buns. I do need honey buns. That is a great question. Yeah, the honey buns cost a pretty penny. Those backpacking meals I'm referencing, those are just the dinners. Those are just the dinners. $10. Here we go from Jennifer Marks. Thank you so much. My husband and I love your videos. I love your comments and your generosity and your heart. Thank you so much. Thank you. Everybody is I don't know. This is overwhelming. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And I really appreciate you guys watching the videos. I remember when I started this channel and Lazarus the Fish Boy was my first subscriber. Lazarus the Fish Boy. I remember when I got my first subscriber. I think he's still a sub. By the way, I think his channel is doing well. But anyways, he subbed to my channel and I didn't get views for 3 years. And just kept doing it. And the fact that I now have people like this who love the channel and support what I'm doing, it really means the world to me. Thank you so much. Would I ever consider going to Patagonia? Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. Do some backpacking and what they call it, Cirque de I forget, but yeah, I want to do Patagonia. Your content hits the sweet spot for a lot of us. These comments hit the sweet spot. It means a lot that you guys enjoy coming out on these adventures with me. Okay, so let me just make sure I talk about everything in this video before something crazy happens again. We had the knock. My only concern, somebody asked me if I was scared. No, I wasn't scared. At this point, I felt like Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump. You know when he joins him down in was it Louisiana when he's a shrimp boat captain and he's like at the top of the mast and they're like out in a storm and it's raining and it's lightning and he's like yelling. He's like, "Is that all you got? Come and get me!" Like, I don't know. I felt the same way. I literally lost my mind by the final night of the 6 weeks out west. It was so relentlessly exhausting and tiring and intense that by the time I got to that last night, I had like completely lost it. And I was like, bring it on, baby. There's a Sasquatch right over there. Let's fucking do this. Whoops. Delete that. YouTube. Just kidding. $10 from Mike. I assume that's your name. Mike, thank you so much. Thank you. Wow. This is out of hand. By the way, guys, I peed a long time ago. I just destroyed the sofa. I'm kidding. The excitement has helped buy me some time. Thanks, Mike. I really appreciate that. You guys are all I don't know. This is all going to be felt out on this trip. I'm really excited to start talking about that 6-week trip, and I'm trying to finish the backstory for Vancouver on the Sasquatch. So I lost my mind. I was totally like, I remember I was like sitting in the dark and just like ready to go. I was a little concerned that we were going to be taken. I think you hear me say the next morning, I was like, oh, we weren't taken, because that was my only concern, that these things, whatever they are, that they were going to come in and steal one of us, if not both of us. Eric had crazy stories himself. His wife has heard them talking. His wife, they're really talkative, supposedly, up in this area. Sandra Jane heard them talking in what he described as trying to emulate a human language, but not quite getting it. But it was aggressive. He heard them talking. And at a nearby area, I'm not going to say where, but Eric's wife was camping, and she heard a same type of thing in an area where a lot of people have reported chatter and hearing like these weird languages almost. So Eric had some cool stories himself, and it was just so cool to be out there with Eric. Eric was the damn man. That was a home run. and I passed out right away. I was like, I was listening to the audio, and I'm talking to Eric from my tent. I'm like, oh, okay, blah 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 blah. I was out. I was out. I felt bad for Eric because Eric didn't fall asleep for like 3 or 4 hours, so I totally left him in the dust. Um, and yeah, so we weren't stolen unless we were living in an alternate reality. Love your adventures. Thank you, Nicole Martinez. Um, awesome content. Much love from New Zealand. Holy moly. Thank you so much. You're the man. Adam Reed, you're the man. Who funds your trips? Nice car time hiring the Bigfoot. Who funds my trips? I fund my trips. I fund my trips. But like I said, I'm going basically full YouTube. So I'm not going to have, the same funds that I've always had, I would think. But that's why I got to get YouTube up. But I'm not in, just so you know, I'm not in YouTube like for the money. This just works out for me. It works out for me because for the first time in my life, I'm doing something that I'm completely obsessed with. Nature has been the only thing that I have been obsessed with my entire life. And I happen to live in a time where like you can actually create stuff about nature that other people want to see. And it can, and if it can fund my ability to go keep doing that, it funds my ability to go back out into nature. It's the greatest thing in the world. So like, that's what YouTube is to me, man. Like it's a way for me to keep going out there and doing what I love. And also like help other people who can't get out there themselves physically, or they live in distant places. If I can in some way take them with me, it's the most rewarding thing in the world. That's what YouTube is about to me. To share the beauty of the world with so many people, and to get out there myself, because it's all I ever think about. Another $10. Another $10. Dude, thank you so much. Thank you. This is the best live stream ever. Like, I'm losing my ability to articulate. Thank you, Linda. Wait. No. Thank you, Phil. But Linda's the one who just said this is the best live stream ever. I'm losing my mind. What was my entryway into Bigfoot? Thank you so much, Phil. Thank you. What was my entryway into Bigfoot? Well, so like I said, I always grew up obsessed with nature, wildlife, but also like mystery. I loved horror films. I loved thrillers. I lived in the Hockomock Swamp. My backyard was right in my porch just looked into nothing but miles and miles and miles of swamp. So it was a spooky atmosphere. So I always I was interested in the paranormal stuff. I was just interested in spooky stuff. The idea that there's this mystery out there that sort of is right in between. It crosses over both genres of like mystery, but also the coolest form of wildlife. I mean, it's not even, I don't know what it is, but it's like the coolest idea of like a elusive animal. It's probably not an animal. It's more like a hominid, but also feeling that mystery and that spook factor. It's intoxicating for the same reason we're all into it. I was into it right away, my whole life. And I've always been talking about it, and everybody goes, what the hell are you talking about? I've never had anybody to really share my enthusiasm with Bigfoot about until recently. But I was always doing Bigfoot things. I wasn't going and knocking on trees and doing whoops. And like, every time I would go out into the woods and go out to the Hockomock Swamp where I lived. And then I started creating backpacking films for YouTube. And I did a Redwoods big backpacking video. And I knew Bluff Creek was like right there. It's right near the Redwoods. It's kind of in the Redwoods. So I was like, why don't I just go make a backpacking video in Bigfoot country, the coolest, ground zero, Bluff Creek. I want to go there anyways. I'll go there. I'll film the whole thing. I'll film it in the style that I do my backpacking videos, but just make it about Bigfoot. And bam, introduced a whole new genre into my life and channel and a gazillion people. And yeah, that was the dam broke. Have I ever run into poachers? No. When I hear the word poachers, I think of like those guys from like the 50s in Africa with like those funny hats. But no, there are, poachers, anyone who's hunting in like a, national park or something where it's not allowed. No, I don't think I have. I don't know if I'd be able to identify it. Pretty oblivious and stupid in that way. Hello from Colorado. Hello. You are brave for sure. First time I went primitive camping, part of the tent was rubbing on another part, and I just knew a rabid raccoon was after me. Yeah, it's just exciting. I love just setting up your tent and being out there with wildlife and listening to the sounds, being out there in Yellowstone and just listening to all the sounds. The woods come to life, the jungle comes to life. I don't like just hiking, day hiking, because you leave at the end of the day. I love the fact that you go out there and you stay in it. You stay in it, and that's when things come to life. I mean, I was in Yellowstone and in the middle of the night in a very quiet location, and something went boom, 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 ran right by my tent. The whole ground shook. I shot awake. My heart rate went from 0 to 100. You know, it's just that excitement. I was like, oh my god, it's a grizzly bear. Assuming the worst thing, but I don't think it was. It was probably an elk. Uh, why wouldn't you go into the cabin? So I wasn't allowed to go into the cabin. I talked about that earlier in the live stream. So I emailed everybody I was supposed to email, and they did not allow me to stay in the cabin. So I honored that and I didn't do it. But got to stay nearby where so many different experiences have happened. So anyways, we woke up here the next night, and interesting little side note, I don't know what to make of this. The ravens were going nuts. We had ravens right over our tents just going nuts. And I was like, of course there's ravens involved in this situation. Ravens are always spooky and weird. They love weird, spooky things. Of course the ravens are going nuts. And they I didn't think much of it other than what I just said. But then I posted the video, and Chris Spencer reached out to me, and he was like, dude, we have been noticing on our audio equipment a correlation between Sasquatch activity and ravens. I think he pointed out that like ravens will follow people around, but he thinks that they'll actually follow Sasquatch around too. Something like that. I'm not ask Chris Spencer about it. He knows what he's talking about way more than I do, but I just found that to be interesting that like this location and this experience was just checking every single box. Like no bears, no people, most remote location, infinite backstory, Sandra Jane, and we actually had a Sasquatch encounter. Like that was a Sasquatch. I started the 6 weeks out west trip with a grizzly bear standing up in Yellowstone and looking right at me, and me looking back at her for a while, which was the craziest thing I'd ever experienced. And that was the first day. And the last day it ended with a Sasquatch encounter. Like, come on, it was crazy. So that's why I'm intimidated for my next trip. Found any arrowheads? No, that'd be cool, but I'm pretty oblivious. Anything cool happened the next day? Not really. We flew out. It was awesome. We went to Eric and I went to a brewery. Something else happened right as that trip ended. I'm not going to tell you because I'm trying to finish one final film that puts all of them together. That's going to leave some surprises. And they're $50. Wow. That's insane, dude. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. I don't know what to say. Phil, you're making it rain. You are making it rain. We're 2 hours. 2 hours into this live stream, dude. Thank you so much. I feel like you been sending me money. I feel like there's like the third time. I don't know. Maybe it's a different Phil, but holy crap! Thank you so much, man. Thank you. This all is going to go a long way. So you're asking me, will I join all Sasquatch researchers in one place at one time, being sent to an unknown location? You know what the problem with that is that Sasquatch researchers don't get along. They don't. I get to stay out of the drama. A lot of Bigfoot enthusiasts don't know about this, but the Sasquatch researchers themselves are at war with each other. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. I've talked about this with Alex, Alex Petikoff and I, we get to kind of stay out of it because we're on the East Coast. We're not wrapped up in the West Coast, but man, they really, really go at it. And not just because you think Bigfoot's this or you think Bigfoot's that. It's just, I don't know. It's, to me, it's unnecessary discourse in an arena where we should be supporting each other because we're trying to bring light on something that the public thinks is absolutely ridiculous. The worst thing that we can be doing is fighting each other. But that's what a lot of researchers do. And everybody's an enemy with everybody. It's kind of bizarre. So for that reason, if we were all in one place, we'd probably all end up dead. It would just look like a battlefield at the end of a war. You know, it's like everyone's like stabbed and dead. That's what would happen if we were all put together. There should be a Discord channel, right? Yeah, let's put us all together. Just have it out. Let's have it out. Um, but anyways, yeah. So I'm trying to put together a video called 6 Weeks Out West, like the film. And I was gonna, and it's really really hard because it's so much content, it's so much footage, and I'm trying to edit it down to a watchable like 2.5 hour, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and it's really difficult project. But I really want to do it. I don't know if I'm going to get it done in time before I head out to go do another and crazy expedition. But I'm kind of trying. I'm kind of not trying. I'm kind of like maybe I should just organize myself and get my brain normal because I just calmed down on the YouTube stuff. I'm still doing my other job, but I just calmed down on the YouTube stuff. So I'm for the first time since October, I'm not really working 100-hour weeks anymore. So do I relax but I want to get this film done because I don't want there to be a 3-month gap. But there might be a gap. But anyways, there is some unseen footage that'll be included, and just kind of put the whole thing together into one singular film. And what else? Oh, so yeah. All right. So that's the end of 6 Weeks Out West, especially when that final film comes out. Which I have no idea how that's going to do, because it's going to be the combination of backpacking and Bigfoot. I don't know if those worlds are going to work together, but it is what it is. It's going to be my experience and what happened. But it's going to change. The moods are going to change, depending on where I was. But just figuring out the pacing of that is really really tough. Gaps are okay. Thank you, because it will be a gap if I don't get this out within a week. Yeah, if I don't get this out by next Sunday, then it's probably not going to be uploaded until the very end of August or September, which is insane. But I will be out there filming. I'll be filming my ass off. I'll be working my ass off. I'll be hiking my ass off. I've been desperately trying to get in shape. I ran 10 miles today. I'm working out of fear, because I don't want the reason that this trip fails to be because I wasn't prepared. It can't be because of me if something goes wrong, or that I can't finish these trips. So I got a lot of big things planned. Crazy backpacking, crazy bigfooting. And yes, as of right now, a lot of it takes place in Alaska. So, that's the coolest possible place in the world for me that I could go to. I have been there a couple times. But I'm going to be doing backpacking stuff in Alaska and Bigfoot stuff in Alaska. There's another $10. There's another $10. I don't know what to say. dude, I don't know. Thanks, man. I mean, thanks, dude. Thank you. It's a lot of money. There's a lot of money on this live chat. I don't know what to say anymore. Thank you so much. Now I feel extra pressure to absolutely nail this, but the right amount of motivation. I got the motivation right now to go out there and do it, baby. Do it. No fear. The other day I was in Oregon in Tillamook, and I was afraid at one point at night. I was doing a Bigfoot video because I also have some content that I've been filming that's going to come out before you'll see the next 6 or 7 weeks trip content that I've been filming all year. And I was in Tillamook, Oregon, and I was a little spooked out. And then I went on this hike, and I saw two eyes at night. I was doing my solo night hike thing, and I saw two eyes glowing in the dark, just looking at me. And I just went right towards it. I think I was like, all right, no fear. Let's do this. That's why we're here. Let's go. I just walked right up to it, and then I don't know. It must have moved off, but it was honestly probably elk. However, I just never saw other eyes. Elk are usually in a group. Number one, and number two, it just stared at me for 5 straight minutes. So that was kind of spooky. But that's what I'm talking about with this trip. This money I'm getting, the support I'm getting. No fear, baby. You only live once. I get the chance to do what I love. So I'm going to go for the craziest backpacking trips of my life. I'm going to go for the craziest Bigfoot experiences of my life, and see what happens. I think I have to call it. I think I have to call it. I'm at 2 hours and 8 minutes, and I do have to go to the bathroom. It's probably gonna cost me. I don't know how much money this is gonna cost me if I were to just keep this going, but, let me just read a couple comments here. When in Oregon do you meet up with the NABC gang? Yeah, I went to the NABC and I was talking to Cliff, and Cliff and I were going to meet up. But at the last second, Cliff wasn't able to because he had some report that he had to go look into like right away that it just happened because my guy Cliff is dedicated. So I wasn't able to meet up with Cliff, but I was able to go in the museum and talk to everybody. And I did it like a bit of a video and interview in the museum itself. Cliff is awesome. Did I hear it walk away? No, I didn't hear anything. I went back the next day during the day, and there was a lot of elk sign. So in this situation, I think 2 + 2 is 4. But doesn't Sasquatch also supposedly follow elk and hunt elk? So I don't know. I mean, but yeah, Patreon is good. Yeah, guys, I have a Patreon. Not I feel ridiculous even talking about that right now because you guys just absolutely made it rain on this live stream. But I have a Patreon, and I don't know how you search for it. I think it's like Mike Wanders. I'm figuring out as I go. I'm gonna provide updates on my 6 or whatever it is, 6-7 weeks summer out west. Maybe it would be called summer out west. That's kind of lame. And I'll provide updates on what's going on and what like when I can, maybe if I like once a week when I'm not out of service in the wild. I'll probably try to provide some updates there. But then once I'm back home, it's going to be a lot. Like I'll be uploading my videos to Patreon as well. So no commercials. You won't get any commercials on there. And just backstories about what was really going on behind the scenes. And I'll try to expand on Patreon as I go. But that's the idea with me going more towards full time with YouTube. I'll have more time to, put into both Patreon and YouTube. But anyways, I think we got to call it next. What day is today? Sunday. Next Tuesday, June 30th. I am heading out for basically 2 months, doing all this again, and that's really, really intense to me. I really, really appreciate the support. YouTube limited my donations, by the way. Well, I am suing. I'm suing, dude. Thank you so much, Phil. Thank you so much to everybody who donated, but thank you so much to everybody who's here on the live stream and for following this channel and for following the 6 weeks out west. This is the most important thing I ever did. The greatest adventure of my life. It means the world to me that you guys supported it and were a part of it, and that I got the content. Turns out I can officially say I got all the videos. I didn't lose anything. I didn't die. I got it all, and I got it out there, which is awesome. Thank you so much to everybody for watching and supporting the channel for 6 weeks out west. And stay with me. Maybe 2 or 3 months of no content, but then bam, we're coming in strong. We're coming in strong for a long time after that as I accumulate all these different adventures. So thank you so much, everybody. Seriously, I love you guys so much. Thank you for just overwhelming me with donations and support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you guys. Have a good night. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.